Thank you,
sir.
Next speaker, Sri Dr. V. Sivadasan.
Respected Chair, Adivasi community in our country is facing lot of problems, but the union government is not ready to address the issues properly. Basically, they are failed to address the issues. Government has declared some programs, but nothing is happening in the field. This is the reality. So please look at the condition of the Adivasi communities in India. In this August House, the Ministry of Tribal Affairs has given an answer to my question that clearly shows the pathetic condition of the Adivasi community in our nation. The intervention of the union government for tribal welfare is failure that again and again we are seeing here. Interestingly, I am sharing some of the figures of fund allocation and utilization. Sir, in 2021-22, fund allocation for model residential schools was 1,200 crore, but the utilization was zero, sir. In the tribal sector, lot of research is secured but the government is not allocating the fund for the research activities. Tribal have lot of indigenous knowledge and it should be preserved and protected. Out of the 60 crores allotted for Tribal Research Institute, the 60 crore allotted amount, only 1.6 crores have been utilized in 21-22. Special central assistance to tribal sub-scheme, the utilization is only 164 crore rupees, which is 1/4 of the price of an aircraft. Sir, the literacy rate of Adivasis is only 58.95%, which is lower than that of the general population. Sir, in every indicator, Adivasis are on the back foot when compared to the general population. The life expectancy, another index, the life expectancy of Adivasis is 60, which is lower than the life expectancy of general population. Another one by one we are able to explain the things. Adivasis have higher infant mortality rate, IMR, as compared to the general category. IMR for Adivasis is 44.4, which is 40% more than the general category and 10% more than the national average, showed the reports. Scheduled tribes make up 8 to 9% of the population, but sir, they account for about 40% of all under 5 deaths and 23% of death in the 1 to 4 age group in rural areas. Comprising about 8% of India's population, they account for 25% of the population living in the poorest wealth decile. Digital divide is very high in Adivasi community. According to 75th NSSO data, National Sample Survey Organization data, 77.3% of the Adivasi population has no access to internet, and 90% of Adivasi students could not access online classes during lockdown. So, the Adivasi areas, lack of good libraries and reading rooms we are seeing. There is lack of empowering public spaces. In many dry regions, drinking water itself is quite scarce. Most of the Adivasis are working in informal sector and the ratio of formal sector employment is very low. Sir, there is an urgent need to address these issues. The allocation for the development of ST is very low and even the allotted amount is not utilized. In last year, budget allocation was 7,484 crore rupees, but of this allocation only 6,126 crores was spent. In other words, the government did not spend 90% of the money it was allocated. So this is an unfortunate situation. Adivasi constitute 8.6% of total population. Thus, at least 8.6% of the total budget expenditure must be allocated for STs. The government has allotted just 2.26% of the total expenditure for Adivasis. So it has been pointed out by various ways. Adivasis have been robbed of, and a lot of issues are here. I am not going to explain this whole thing, but not only in terms of the funds allocated for Adivasis. The curtailment of social security expenditure in this budget is against the interest of Adivasis. The food subsidy has been reduced by 80,000 crores and funds for employment guarantee schemes was reduced by 25%. This will affect Adivasis the most. Sir, the inflation and joblessness is rising and the budget has no comprehensive measures to counter it, and the worst sufferers will be the Adivasis. So these all things we should discuss, and sir, the government should address. Komaram Bhim, the great leader of tribals and the great fighter of exploitation, he gave the slogan, Jal Jungle Samin. So sir, I request the government should address this issue. Otherwise, the struggle of Adivasis, the tribal log, the struggle will again continue. So, sir, I
Thank you.
requesting to the
Thank you,
government and
Sivadasan
the
ji.
House.
Next speaker, Shri M. Thombi Dorai ji.
Thank you, Vice Chairman, for giving the opportunity to participate on behalf of ADMK to say certain